everybody, welcome back to the dumbest airbase on all of YouTube, Pitstain Hobbies. Okay, we're finishing her up. Pack 12 of the Agora Models A6M Zero Fighter. This is very cool. Very exciting to finish model. And we've got a whole bunch of good stuff in here. A lot of diorama base parts. But what we need is, well, if I was still on the instructions, we need stage 93, 98, 99, 94, 95, 96, hold on, a moment please, 97, 93, there we go. I was getting nervous for a second there. Yeah, so let's get this cracked out of the bag and get started. I'll be right back. Alrighty, now let's get this out of the bag. While I'm unpacking this, you have time to go click the links below to Agora Models to go check out the model. And yeah, one of my other friends, he's building this also. Dave, Relentless Storm. He's building up the Zero as well, and he's, you know, I'd say, you know, a considerably smarter guy than me in a lot of ways. So worth watching both builds. Get all this out of here. Oh, you got some IKEA furniture here. Put little corners on there to protect it. That's nice. Oh, tissue paper. Hey, come on. Here we go. Okay. We got some base part there. Okay then. Let's see what we do. It's gonna take a little bit of time here, so we're gonna take the little switch unit, and we're just gonna pop her in the hole. There we go. Snappity snap. Nice and easy. Put it in backwards, probably. Whatever. I don't think it matters. Yeah, it shouldn't matter. Let me grab something from stage 71, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we've got this part from 71, unmistakable. We're going to take this assembly, squeeze her on in, and then two of these big screws go there and there. So I broke out the Japanese screwdriver, since this is a Japanese fighter, because I'm a dork. Be right back. Okay, so there we go. I had to bring out the whole base. So we need to get this thing put in. So if you see these lips here, those go on the outside edges. So we're just gonna snap that into there. We're gonna take this part like so. See that right there, and get that situated in there. Obviously we got our switch mounted. Looks fine. And we're going to need to get some brackets in here. Let me see if I have room to scroll with my mouse. Now we need part 80, part 8905, and that's going to go right in the corner here. And then we got to get 4 IKEA screws. They're all the same. I mean, they're all the same. Just these things. Get well, that's 5. There we go. Now that's 4. I'm going to get 4 zipped in there real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so those are screwed in. I also screwed in this little corner bracket, just like the other side here. Same thing. So we're left with this and this, and now we got to go back to the airplane. So I'm going to get this big thing out of the way, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's stage 94. These staples are dangerous for me. I'm like, don't stab yourself with a staple, Ian. Okay, let's take our bits out here. We got this right here. So we are not supposed to glue this, but we've got the 6 pegs right there, and we've got these 6 little holes right there. And we just got to lay this down as the little filler for this trench. Yes. Easy, right? Let me see here. Ah, I see. So this this part popped up over the lip a little bit. So let me get that pried back into place with a little bit of gentle persuasion. Persuasion? Is that... Nope. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to figure this out and I'll show you what to do if this happens to you. One sec. Okay, so what I did was basically I took a very thin flathead screwdriver and I pushed this little rib that you can see right here. I pushed it in and it snapped into place, and then everything lined up much better. So now we should be able to push this final cover on. There we go. Fits into place nicely. And now we need to take this little part. Let's zoom back out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Get this little bit, and that's going to just kind of click into place right there. So that looks nice. Oh, be very careful opening and closing things. Yeah, that looks good. That really slides easily. Oh, and just always be mindful of your little landing gear doors. You know, don't want to mess those up. And now we got to push in machine gun barrels and a pitot tube. So we've got a few of these little guys here. Well, looks like an antenna. So this would probably be a good idea is if I was facing the other direction. Let's just do that real quick. Okay. All right. Okay, so the machine gun tubes are right in here, and these are shaped. It looks like they got a little bit of a flat edge on them. So let's see which way they want to go in. There we go. Perfect. And then same thing on the other side here. Oh, Ian, be very conscious. There you go. You could just like rotate them until they go in, then they go right in. And then this little fella. This, I'm sure I'm going to break this. I'm almost positive. Which end goes in? Okay, so the skinny silver tip faces out, and it just goes right into this little section of the wing. That's the pitot tube. That's for, you know, measuring the airspeed of the aircraft. And some Ziploc bags out of the way. And let's see what else we got here. Ooh, we got to get the wing skins. So let's grab those. I'll be right back. This is some mildly exciting stuff right here. So here's our wings, and they tell you to use screws 9002 and 9202. They're taped right to the bottom of the wings. That was a slick move, Agora. That was it's taped to me. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. All right, well, the wife was checking in with me to make sure I didn't burn the house down. She's fine. Shopping with her mom. Okay, so we got our screws there. We're going to take one of these wing skins and line her up with the inside, offer it up to the model, and squeeze it around there. Let's see. Up, snappity snap. There's a couple spots. This is, let's see. This right here, something should snap in. I'd like to think. Let me see here. It's fitting really, really great everywhere else. There, oh, there we go. Got another snap. We're just going to keep squeezing her down. We just got to figure out why we have that little gap right there. Let's look at the other wing. Okay, there's a little post. Let's... I'm not sure if it's going to be a snap or a long, hard push. It's a long, hard push on that post. Here we go. Okay, she's in. All right, so now we're going to gently mind your landing gear. I should have gotten one of those airplane, you know, holder things. But now we're going to take a couple of these screws. All right. Let's get a screwdriver here. And we're going to get one screw right in here. And nice and firm. You don't have to go Incredible Hulk on it. And one more here. Seriously, be very conscious of all your little machine guns and pitot tubes and everything else while you're putting these on. You don't want to accidentally snap one off. But let me grab that screw and put that over here. I'm going to get the other wing top on because it's the same exact procedure, and I'll be right back. All right. So now I'm going to get this little antenna in here. It's supposed to kind of like lean forward a little bit. And that's going to go right in the little slot here on the top of the canopy. And that just sticks in there. That's it. Nice and easy. I was thinking of putting a little bit of string between here and the tail for the actual, you know, antenna wire. But there's really nowhere to fix it to, so I guess that plan's out the window. We're going to take a filler plate, left and right. So this one has an L on it. If you can, there we go. Now you can make that out. That's going to go right here because this is the left wing, right? Yeah, there we go. And just squeeze that in. And that's the right. And we got this little filler panel that also says L. And that's going to go in right there. Cover that screw. It just kind of sets in there. And then we've got two of these little guys. And we're going to put those right here. Let's see if they go in on their own. The little hooky part faces back. Oh, for cripe's sake. Ian flailing with small parts as usual. And that just kind of drops in there. I'm going to put a little glue on that, I think. Because that'll just, yeah, that'll just kind of, that's not super snug in there. So a tiny dab of glue wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, and I'm going to get that in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all those panels are in. They're looking very nice. Now we got to get the plane out of here again, and I got to get the base back on screen. Be right back, everybody. Okay, so we've got stage 95 now. That was the end of 94 before. Sorry about that. And let's just get this thing unbaggied. Oh, you staples, you scare me. This staple one flying over here. Throw that in the garbage. And then what we got? Okay, we got the charging board assembly here. We have this little guy, and we have a few little screws and a cable. So let's see, we're going to take this cable. Oh, Lord. Oh, it's spaghetti. It is silicone jacketed, which is nice. And we're going to plug this into this connector right here. U1 is the cable. That's how it's marked. This is U. And this is U1. Okay, that's fine. All right. Plug that into there. And then we're going to screw it onto this little fella right here. So this has the 2 posts. We're just going to put this down, and there's a couple screw holes on that board. We'll get those in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's screwed onto there. We're just going to leave that for now. And now we're going on the stage 96. We've got to put the infrared receiver in. And we've got another piece of IKEA furniture here. Okay. Get that bag in the trash. Get all our plastic out of here. Okay. So we're going to just put our IKEA thing over there for now. And a little metal plate. So here's our infrared receiver. Okay. Yeah, looks like an infrared receiver to me. And it's got a 4-pin connector on it. All right. Now this is actually going to get tucked in behind this empty speaker grill. So we got to pull these screws out of here and get her into place. Come on. All right. There we go. All right, so we got this panel. And we just need to bolt the infrared receiver in this orientation onto the panel with 2 of the smaller screws that are in this bag with stage 96. Let me knock that out real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so that's all done. We're just going to take these wires, put them right there, and we're just going to fit this board back into place with those 2 screws we took out before. So 1 sec. All right, so I've rotated around a little bit here so we get a better... This thing is so freaking giant, even fully zoomed out. I mean, yeah, I can't get the whole base in there no matter what I try. So, oh boy. Big girl. There we go. We are going to put more of the base together. We got the final piece for the bottom here with 9603. So these screws are going to go like that. There's the outer lip, as we can see. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, you know, I got a pretty big work surface here. Larger than a lot of YouTube modelers, but dear me, this has taken up all of the real estate. And that goes on there. And now we need to get a bracket here from a previous state. One of these. And this is going to go right in there. Let me get that screwed in real quick. 1 sec. All right. Well, we got also this screwed in. And this screwed in, we've seen that a million times. And we're going to take our little USB charging port and slide it into place there. And get that screwed down. I got tired of twisting my arms. Let me loosen that a little bit here. Always get both screws started before. There we go. Okay. Let's snug that last one down. Okay. Good. You're gonna have to take my word for it. It's in there. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see if we can tilt this up. And can we focus? Yeah, there we go. Looks like our USB port and LED are aligned pretty well on the outside there. And that's it for that stage. Why can't we just put this on already? Come on. Okay, checking the battery. Let me get 97. Let's get the battery. Checking the battery. Yep, it's a battery. There's no assembly in... Jeez. Be right back. All right, well, my wife came home and disrupted everything. She's out shopping for the day with her mother. Always nice. Keep them both occupied at once, I say. Here's stage 98. We got a plastic box for the battery. Oh no, we've got our little kamikaze here. Let's see. Let's see what this guy looks like. Bonsai! Alright. Is it a parachute? I don't know. Well, yeah, you can just hang out there. Put you in the cockpit later. We've got our final piece of the bottom chunk of the display base. Alright, well, that's just going to obviously slap into place there with a... Interesting. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, it squeezes together. Yeah. Oh, boy. So, don't mind that gap there. It'll be gone once we tie it all together with the remaining brackets and things. We got this little box. Battery cover lid. A couple of brackets. And some screws. Very nice. Let's see here. Scrolly, scrolly. Come on, Adobe. Wake up. There we are. All right. Okay, so we're just going to see what else we got here. Another leftover bracket from before. Some more IKEA screws. We're just going to get a bracket in the corner, bracket right here, and a cross brace here, just like all these other sections. And I'll be right back. So just an FYI here for this particular bracket, because you got this big guy in the way, without having to remove this whole thing, you can't get a screwdriver anywhere near that thing. So in these scenarios, we break out a stubby. And this is another German screwdriver. I love my fancy screwdrivers. Quite the fan. And that way, you can get your little stubby in there. And then finish tightening these down. And the same is going to go for this bracket up here, is we're going to use the stubby to get in there, even though it's still at an angle. So, just an FYI, stubby, that's a number 2 Phillips. So, might be handy to get yourself a stubby number 2 Phillips for this build. Otherwise, I also have this little ratchety guy. Yes, another German tool. But this one, yeah, it's like a ratchet, but for screwdriver bits. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so we got all those screwed in there. And now we're going to take our battery case and we're going to fit our nut into the bottom here. And it's a snug fit, which is good. You don't want that little nut to fall out. We got the little screw here. And we're just going to take our battery and shove the wire through the little opening there. Put the little battery down in the case. Put the battery cover on. And just gently screw that down. There we go. That battery pack is going to go down right here with 4 more of our IKEA screws. There we go. 4. We still got a couple spares. Let me get that screwed down. I'll be right back. Okay, battery box is screwed down. We've got this cable and that cable and these cables and all these other cables, and now we've got stage 99, which is the circuit board. The main board for the display base. Let's get this out of here. It's just the board and a little bag of screws, a little satchel of screws. And let's pop this out of its little holder here and take a look at it. Okay. Oh, a little bright. It's white. There we go. That tab's a little. That's not so important. But we got to put it in this direction, down on this pedestal here. So we'll get that screwed down and be right back. Okay, our circuit board is in, and we're just going to start connecting up things So K goes to the middle connector on here. And that's from the power switch. And then U goes over here. And then that would mean G goes into this third one here. We're not going to connect U yet. We're going to leave that disconnected for now. And then all these other cables. Okay, so we've got this 4-pin one. That can only go in one spot. That goes in right there. And so on and so forth. And this is J1, which is a 3-pinner. And we got J1 right here. And we're just going to keep doing that. This is very important. If you have a cable, if this wasn't J1, okay, and this wasn't Z1, you got a problem. You got to move things around. You got stuff in the wrong place. This is extremely important. Like this is not optional. Like, you know, Z1 has to go into Z1, or else like just nothing's gonna work right. It's like that's all got to go in the right spot. Actually, I'm going to run this around the other way and put Z1 in that way. What you could also do is you could tape these wires down to the base a little bit. It doesn't specifically say to do that, but that's what I'm going to do. When we get all my cables connected, I'm going to start charging the battery because it's plugged in. I'm not going to connect this power to the circuit board yet. I'm going to charge a battery first. Be right back. Okay, everybody. Everything's plugged in. I did a test on mine, and well, let me show you what it's supposed to do first. So we power on the switch. It's over here, right here. Power on. Then we hit the power button on the remote, and we point it at the infrared receiver. Everything cycles up. Everything cycles down. That's what it should do. If yours does not do that, stop. Now, on the Pac-12 instructions, at the end of the instructions, there's a lot of tips and tricks and troubleshooting procedures. So what I had two problems with mine. And these are adjustment-related issues. So I didn't have faulty parts. But this would go up, and then it would click, 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 and not go back down. Now, what I determined is if I gave it just a little bit of a tap, it went down fine. So what I did is I used silicone lubricant grease on all these metal rods that everything runs on. I greased everything up. That fixed that issue. The other one was this one. This would go up and then down, and this one just kept going up and down and 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 up and down. And it was having trouble, obviously, activating the little limit switches that we put in. Now, in the troubleshooting guide, it says to add a shim. I couldn't find this shim. I checked in a lot of spots. I checked in all the decal bags and other things. If there was a shim, I've somehow misplaced it. And then I thought, well, I could just bend the metal arms. So I bent the metal arms carefully, very carefully. Otherwise, you find a shim. Plastic washers will do even fine. And I just tweaked the little arms. Hold on, let me get a different camera view going here. See if we can. Here we go. Let's see. So these little metal arms, I just bent the arm. I gave it a little more of a bend out. I did both top and the bottom, and now perfect. Got no problems. So that works fine. Oh, geez, some of these camera views. So there we go. There's that. Little nerve-wracking. The other thing I noticed was my hole was perfectly round, by the way, but it wouldn't sit down over here for some reason. So I just enlarged it slightly with the Dremel. But yeah, that was a thing. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our panels on. We're gonna turn off the remote so the light's off, and then we're gonna power off the base. Now we're gonna get the plane, which I have. Oh boy, I did test. Now we got to get the plane, and we got to get this 5-pin connector in here. And we got to get it oriented like that. And then down onto the connector. And then just kind of center the plane up there. Okay. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Powering on. Then the remote. That's the tail gear for some reason making a little tiny bit of a clicking noise, but there we go. So she's down on her landing gear. It did its calibration run. You got to wait, like, after you turn it on, wait 10 seconds. Oh, also, it can't take off without its pilot. Let's get Yoshi in there. I named him Yoshi. Then we're going to do engine start. Then takeoff. I definitely moved that landing gear with my hand when I was putting it on there before, so just make sure those are fully down. There you go. We could bank left. We could bank right. And, oh, the lights. Oh, there we go. There's the lights on. So we got 1, 2, 3 over here, 1, 2, 3 over here. And we got one white one all the way at the tip back there, and that is lit. And then we got our 7.7 machine guns in the nose. All right, and then our 20 millimeter cannons in the wings. Hold on a second here. So that's pretty cool. And now what we're going to do is we're going to hit land. And there we go. It all works. Now, I can see why some people might have had problems with this. There's a lot of wires, particularly the main harness wire for this large black post in the back, the large metal post in the back. Let me, this wire harness for this thing, those two plugs should have been different sizes. In the instructions, they were two different sizes, but in reality, they weren't. So, you know, heed my words on the last video also. You know, you got to mark out, mark the wires that go to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just make a little mark on one of them. That way you can't screw that up. Double check all of your lifting mechanisms that they all have the correct wire numbers, because you're building them at different phases of this. So it's very easy to get confused there. I didn't put the belly tank on just yet because I don't know how the hell I'm getting the decals on the bottom of the wings here. The top and the sides, fairly straightforward. I'm just going to leave it on the mount and do them right there. On the bottom, I don't know how I'm flipping this plane upside down, but we'll come up with some sort of system for that. But this is really an awesome model. I had a blast building this thing. Let me go ahead and I'm going to get the decals on it, and we'll just show you the fully finished thing. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. This thing's badass. You just got to be very, very deliberate in your actions when. Oh, and I left the cover plate off here. I forgot to put that back in. I'm looking all. Come on, go in your home. You too good for your home? There we go. And I took off this delicate little radio antenna before. Just so I didn't snap it while I was manhandling the thing. But yeah, pretty cool. We'll be right back with decals on there. I'll show you how to do one. I will. They're not that hard. They're intimidating as hell though, so that I give you. Be right back. Alrighty, well, time for a water slide decaling. Okay, so the nice thing is they give you 2 sets of every decal. So if you screw up, you know, you could always just kind of wash it off and peel it off. So what we've got here, and I wasn't prepared when I hit record. Ian, you dummy. Okay, so this is just my additional tips. Is we have Mr. Mark Setter. Okay, this goes on underneath a decal to increase its gluiness. And then this is Mr. Mark Softer. This is the magic sauce. This is the unicorn tears. This softens the decal and lets it really blend in and sink into all the rivet, you know, little rivet details and little panel lines and everything like that. So that's the magic sauce. The Mr. Mark Setter, you can see it's cloudy in the bottom because there's stuff in there, which I'm assuming is some sort of gluey stuff. And what we have here is a cup of warm tap water and a pair of tweezers. Now there is a very faint little, you can see that little black part of a circle right there. That's your guide mark for where you want to put the decal. So we're gonna just dry fit it right here, and it's basically gonna go right there. Okay, so there's a lot of panel lines and rivet lines that it has to go over. So what we're gonna do is, I'm doing one of these demonstrations on the video, but they all go the same way. Is I'm dipping the decal in the water, and I'm leaving a tip of the paper sticking out of the water, and I'm watching the water wick up the paper and saturate the paper. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to test. We're going to keep dipping. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. So we're about 10 Mississippis in, and the decal is starting to slide. This is very, very big, very thick decal here, so I'm going to get about 15 Mississippis, and if you don't say Mississippi, the magic doesn't work. Okay, and now she's moving. She's moving okay. So I'm just going to set that off to the side real quick. I'm going to get a little bit of this Mr. Mark Setter. Don't worry if it beads up and all that. We just want to get a good amount of it on the wing. Okay, I did not test if this paint will react or something to this, so God help me. Okay, so now we've got our decal, and we're just going to kind of get her pulled down. Oh, this is one thick decal. And we're going to get her laid down right about there. Pull her over a little bit. Okay. Chuck your paper out. And then what we're going to do is take a paper towel. Okay. Okay, so that's fine, but it's not really, I see it sinking in a little bit to the panel lines. So what we're going to use is our unicorn tears, Mr. Mark Softer. We're going to paint some of this on here. Don't be shy, because this is a massive decal. I've put on some giant decals on things. I built a 1/20th scale Robotech Valkyrie. That was like a plastic model kit. That wasn't a part work. Although if someone can get a bead on a low-cost DeAgostini Valkyrie for me, I would be forever grateful. But they're all like $2,600 on eBay. It's insane. Prices have gone absolutely bonkers. So we're going to paint that on there, cover the whole thing, and just let it sit. And I might do a couple applications of this, but I'm going to let that sit, and I'm going to also agitate it with a Q-tip. I'm going to roll try to like get near the panel lines and roll around. Let me get the other hand in here so you can see. So I'm like a halfway decent YouTuber. Try to do a decent job. We're going to do this. I'm going to keep painting it on, okay? And we'll see the results once this Mr. Mark Setter softer kicks in. I'll be right back. Okay, so while that's going down, I want to touch base with these right here. You got this white line right here. I'm trying to get a slightly better angle, but these decals go right there, and just line it up with the top. And then you want to take your now lost Q-tip, and you want to get her. Whoop, you want to get her lined up. There we go. We can always peel it up a little bit and pull it back down. And go down from the top. And we're going to smooth it out with the Q-tip. And then some more unicorn tears. A little mark softer. This is a much thinner decal than the roundels on the wings. The Rising Suns are very thick. They're not really Rising Suns, are they? I don't know. I just say roundels because they're round and they're L's. We're going to get that on there. And again, we're going to keep gently, very gently burnishing down the decal with the Q-tips. Now these are, can I say the word on you? These are pew-pew cleaning swabs. Okay? So these are things to clean things that go bang. But they're very tight woven. They're very much like the very expensive Tamiya and Mr. Hobby cotton swabs. They're great. I love them because you get a giant, massive box of them for not much money. So we're going to let that Mr. Mark Softer do its job here. This one's already starting. I can see rivets now. I can see more details. With decals that are massively, usually on a model kit, when you're doing water slides, really like one application of this is plenty. I'm now on my like 4th application. And I've had this issue before with massive and very thick decals where they need you just need to hose them down in this stuff practically, but it really does help. Okay, well, I got that on there. I got to just go around the other side, do the other two that match up. They index on each other, so that's fine. And then we've got these tail decals to put on. And then we got some more roundels for the sides of the plane and the bottom of the wings. I don't even know if I'm doing the bottom of the wings. I should have, honestly, hindsight being 2020, put the bottom decals on before you assemble the bottom wing skin. That would have been the best idea. But, you know, hindsight's always 2020. Even with LASIK, it doesn't work for me. I'll be back. All right, well, both of our top roundels are on. This whole stripe is on. Now we got to put one of these side ones on. There is another black mark down here near the bottom. And you just want to get it kind of on that black mark and then just pull the paper. Okay. Then we will go back to our Q-tip. And you want to use a rolling motion. Rolling motion. Sometimes a little bit of a wipe is okay. And these side roundels are also quite thick. And again, unicorn juice, the Mark Softer. Now, doing decals on a vertical surface like this is definitely a little more, I don't say harder, it's more intimidating. It is a little trickier than doing them on a flat horizontal surface, like on top of the wings, but it's the same exact principles. And I'm just going to soak it down. And if you can see, let me see if I have a zoom, if I have a view where I can zoom in on this. Let's see. See, you can see these lines. See, you can see the panel lines coming through. The decal is definitely softening and sinking in to those lines because of this Mark Softer. This stuff really helps. And I gotta say, Agora, excellent quality of decal here. This thing is, it's like working with bulletproof vest decals. These things are not delicate whatsoever. They're really, really nice. And if you want to watch, we can, if we start pushing wherever there's panel lines and rivets, it's really going to make it look nice. You can see it sinking into all those grooves. The other side of the plane, the left wing, looks even better. And you got to occasionally go back and go over it and wipe out any little air bubbles. If you have any little bubbles under there, you just want to go back and forth to just get any bubbles out. Very gently. And we're going to do the same thing on our side here. Maybe we do the GoPro. Well, it doesn't get in very close. But yeah, we're just going to roll back and forth. And you want to just keep doing that and keep these particular ones, these red ones, these are super beefy. So you're going to, if you want to get the best possible results, I'd say a few applications of this Mr. Mark Softer. It's in the link below. If you go to my Amazon Stuff I Use link, it's there. It's in one of the lists. But well worth its weight. You know, for the price you're paying for this model, you know, an extra 12, 15, whatever dollars it is. I don't know, $6. How much is it at the hobby shop? I don't even know. I think it's pretty cheap at the hobby shop, but if you have to order it on Amazon, it'll be, you know, paying the Amazon tax. But yeah, so I'm going to let this one settle. I'm going to start working on this tail one. I'm going to get prepared, and then I'll show you how to do the tail decal, which is a whole nother ball of wax. This thing's so friggin' big. That's the hardest part of this model is maneuvering around it once it's all built and assembled like this. It's friggin' massive. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so on to the tail. One of the more complex decals to get on there. And you got to cut it in half just like so. The other one for the other side is like the symbol, the kanji symbols are over the 8. And same difference, but if you can sort of make it out. You see that clear kind of film there? That's carrier film. Now, the thing that the Mark Setter and the Mark Softer really helps with is reducing the chances of silvering. I'm talking like, explain it like to the more experienced modelers building this. You all know what silvering is. You know how to deal with it. You know how to keep it from happening. For the people that are partwork builders that really don't do a lot of scale model kits with water slides with carrier film like that, silvering is where you get like a white, chalky, hazy, ugly, nasty kind of effect where it should be pretty much perfectly clear. You're going to see a little bit of, you could notice it a little, but not too much. And then normally with model, you'd be spraying over that with a dull coat or a semi-gloss or gloss or whatever after, and that minimizes it even more. But what we need to do is right here, there's a tiny little alignment mark. You can barely see it. We need to get this decal to line up with that mark. And we're definitely going to use all of the fluids. And we're going to see if she slides yet. This is a little bit of a thinner decal, but they do give you spares. But just try to be gentle with it. And we're going to get a little bit of our Mark Setter onto this wing, tail. Sorry, don't fight me over technicalities right now. I'm trying to concentrate. Water slide decals, even for someone who does them a lot, you want to line it up right there. Pull that out. Ooh, I think I got it spot on right there. And then we need to adjust it just a tiny bit. And I'm pretty happy with it right there. And we're going to do the same process that we did before. I might actually get a new Q-tip. This one is so saturated, it's not Q-tipping. It's not Q-tipping as well. I'm going to soak a little bit of that off. But we're going to gently, and then I'll do a little Mr. Mark Softer. And now we're going to take the back one, this fella, and get that in there. And then we just got to line up that bottom line with that bottom line. Ooh, this water's still pretty hot. This is Yeti mugs, man. These, ow, my fingers. This is why I use Q-tips. And while that's soaking, I'm going to get a little bit of Mr. Marksetter. Don't worry if it beads up and starts rolling away. It's just any of that on there will be fine. And if this is sliding, this is sliding. This is tricky. You got to be a bit of a contortionist. And we're going to pull slowly. Boom. Now that's looking like it's pretty well in place. There we go. Just tweaked it down a little bit. Now, this one does have all these ribs on the rudder. Rudder? Radian? I don't know. I try. And we're just going to roll along those ribs. I'm going to try to push out any liquid underneath the decal. Sooner or later, I'm going to even get tired of saying decal instead of decal. But whatever. Okay, and don't put too much force on this tail because you don't want to jack up any of the internal workings. And that's that. This is the most nerve-wracking decal on the entire airplane. Well, I mean, maybe the bottom of the wings having to deal with the plane upside down. But I'm going to wipe this down with the Mark Softer. Again, I'm going to give this another hit of Mark Softer. Oh, sorry. I'm so bad at this. I try every camera angle in the universe so I can show things. I always screw it up by using the wrong hand to do stuff with. But yeah. So same thing with that. I'm going to continue to go over it and roll over it very gently with Q-tips. And we'll be back in a sec. And pretty much I think everything should be done. I'm not going to talk about the lower wings. Be right back. Okay, and now here, hopefully everybody can see that it's all settled in, and this one's beautifully settled into its rivet lines and rivet marks. This one's settled in. You can see they're a little less pronounced here. On the wing, they're very noticeable at the top of the wing. So that's that. So I'm just going to get the roundel onto the other side of the fuselage and the other tail decal on there. But there's your water slide decaling tutorial. And cameras, another one. There we go. Look at that. Looking good. Looking really good. Good job. Bravo, Agora. This is not, I mean, I don't think they designed it. I think it came out from somewhere else first. Maybe they did. I don't know. But it's a great model. Little technical to build it. But yeah, well, let's be back with a reveal at the end, I guess, sorta. Okay, one sec. Okay, everybody. Well, the decals are done, and let's see if that. That one's a little sticky sometimes. But yeah, here is the other side. Those tail decals really are the trickiest ones to do, for sure. But yeah, this thing is cool. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So either way, click the links below, and go to Agora and check this out. Go to my Amazon store if you want to buy any of the stuff that I've used. And hey, we got another model built. Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a great day. Adios.